The big topic I want to talk about tonight, as I said, is building your Diamond Dynasty bench. As we see here, you only get 5 bench spots, so you gotta make them count. So we're just gonna talk about the 5 types of players you want in each of these spots. This really isn't my bench right now. I just did the auto-generate lineups. This is kind of going to give you an idea of the makeup of the bench that you want to have going into any game. This will get you set up to either make a comeback, get a walk-off, or just do what you need to do to get that W during a game. The first guy that you're going to need is a super slugger. One of those guys that's going to hit you that tying home run, hit you that walk-off home run. Super looking for power here. Like your David Ortiz's, your Jose Batistas, a Mark Trumbo to an extent, also a Giancarlo Stanton. These guys aren't going to have super great contact, but they're going to have tons of power, get you that walk-off, and let you get out of there with a W. So, number 1 guy is the slugger that's going to be able to win you a ball game or tie it up if you need. Now, I'm going to give you these 5 roles, but the key here is if you can get guys that fill multiple roles, you're going to be even better off because that gives you room to get a second slugger. So if you wanted a David Ortiz for when you face right-handed pitchers and a Giancarlo Stanton for when you face left-handed pitchers, having guys that can fill multiples of these roles is going to be even better for you. Next up, Mr. OBP. Also, this is all going to be a post on thatsportsgamer.com. I'm working on cleaning this up right now so I can get that posted over there. You definitely want a guy that's going to be able to get on base, because we got the slugger that's going to make the tie or give you the win. But again, you're going to want a guy like a Charlie Blackmon like we have here with huge contact numbers. Even if he doesn't have the huge power numbers, this is the guy that's going to set the table, start the rally. Maybe you're down 1, you're trying to win this thing. You have Charlie Blackmon come up, he hits a double, you bring in your David Ortiz, he walks it off, GG. That's the kind of guy you're looking for in a on-base hitter. Tons of contact, doesn't need a ton of power. Now, if you can find a guy with a ton of contact and a ton of power, that's great, because then you can double up on another guy with tons of power or another guy with tons of contact. So some guys that will fill this, Charlie Blackmon as we have here. Another one is Christian Yelich. Also Lorenzo Cain, and Lorenzo Cain is nice because he's got speed, which is the thing we're going to talk about next. Michael Brantley. Only problem with Brantley right now is he is out for the rest of the year, which means his card is not. I don't think his card is going to be getting the inside edge boosts anymore, so that's going to be kind of a problem because he's really good when he has them. Then another one is Daniel Murphy. He gets those high inside edge boosts, tons of contact. I think is he in here? No, but we can go pull him up real quick. I'm actually really loving Daniel Murphy right now, which makes me kind of upset that I picked up this Ian Kinsler, because I think Kinsler is going to play at second for me. But Kinsler's 95 overall. Look at that. With the boost, Daniel Murphy's a 96 overall. 92 contact versus righties, 81 contact versus lefties. And again, he's got the power here. And with the inside edge boost, he's up to 99 contact versus righties and 91 contact versus lefties. Plus, the power doesn't hurt that much over there. Also, another nice thing about Daniel Murphy is he can play second, first, and third, which again is going to be something we're going to talk about in just a minute. So next guy up, as I mentioned with Lorenzo Cain, you're going to want a super speedster. So one of the things that happens when you have these specialized positions on your bench is you need guys that might fill in for them if they don't do the thing you need them to do. So let's say you're tied, okay? You bring in David Ortiz to hit that walk-off home run for you. Guess what? He hits a double. But now you're stuck with a dude with 1 speed standing on second base. Boom. That is when you go out, you grab yourself a D. Gordon, you grab yourself a Gerard Dyson, maybe a Billy Hamilton. Throw him on second base, and guess what? You do a little slap hit, and that guy's scoring from second. No questions asked. I've had D. Gordon score from first on long singles. I think I hit one, or I think there's been multiple times now. I've had D. Gordon on first. I've sent him, and I've hit a ground ball to where the second baseman was supposed to be. I think the second baseman would go over and cover. D. Gordon would score from first on that play. So again, you can do the combination stuff. So if your slugger comes up, doesn't hit the home run, but he's got speed issues, you come in, bring the speedster, and then you turn that frown upside down, and you can drive him in to tie it up, win it, whatever you need right there. Only guys 95 speed. Again, if you got guys that can do multiple things, like if you have a 95 speed guy that's got tons of contact, great. That opens you up to bringing in other guys that can help your team. But yeah, I want 95 speed in these spots. Again, Billy Hamilton, D. Gordon, Gerard Dyson. There's a few other guys. I like Carl Crawford. He's not really that 95 speed. He's lower in the 90s. Nice card. But again, actually, let's look at the Carl Crawford real quick. He's a guy that can give you a little bit of the OBP if you're playing against a righty. He's got 96 contact versus righty, 69 power, and then he's also got, oh, he does have 97 speed. My bad. I thought he was slower than that. So if you have this Carl Crawford on your bench, he's going to come in, face a righty, slap it on, run all the way around the bases. That's a home run right there, just not over the fence. So something to think about there with Carl Crawford. And I think he's actually pretty easy to get. That set wasn't super expensive, so highly recommend going to check that out. Next up, you need a Swiss Army knife. Because look, what have we said here? Let's take that situation again. You're down one. You're looking to, or even you're down one, you're tied, looking to walk it off. You bring in David Ortiz, hits a double. Now you're upset. You're putting D. Gordon to run for him. He doesn't score. And well, I guess D. Gordon, you could play second base, but let's say that power hitter was coming in to hit for an outfielder or like a third baseman, maybe another first baseman or shortstop, and the speedster you have doesn't play that position. This is why you need a Swiss Army knife guy. I'm looking at the Ben Zobrists, the Brock Holtz, Odubel Herreras, Logan Forsythe, guys that can play like 6 positions. Bonus points if they can play catcher. Yeah, who do we got? The Ian Kinsler here. He can play second, short, left, center, and right. Granted, he's not going to be great at most of these positions, but he's going to be serviceable. And if you're going to take out a guy and you're going to try to walk it off, and then you bring in this guy, obviously the defense isn't going to be that of a guy whose primary position is wherever you stick this guy, but it's huge to be able to have someone to play there, and you're not stuck putting David Ortiz in left field or something ridiculous because you didn't plan your bench correctly. So yeah, Brock Holt. I want to say Brock Holt. I don't even know what position they have him set up as. Let's just go find him in the other way. I feel like Brock Holt has catcher. Brock Holt might have starting pitcher. Brock Holt has second base, first base, third base, shortstop, and the outfield positions. So he has literally every position except for catcher and pitcher, which is pretty nasty. Granted, 72 fielding, he's going to take, well, he's only going to take 5% hit wherever you put him. Reaction's going to be a problem. Speed's going to be a problem. I mean, if you put him in center or something. But still, having a guy who plays all these positions as either their primary or secondary is going to be huge in the late innings when you need someone to come off. Also, what happens if, say, your shortstop gets hurt in the third inning on a freak play? Now you have a guy that while Brock Holt isn't an elite shortstop, he's going to be a player that can go in there and play shortstop and be semi-effective, and you're not going to get screwed over because your bench is a bunch of sluggers and none of them have even the option of playing short, and they're going to go out there and just kick the ball around and look like a fool. I actually had this happen to me a couple days ago. I was playing with, I had Chris Bryant on third. First inning, got hurt. Had to bring in Ben Zobrist to play third. Or no, I think I had Daniel Murphy move over to play third, and I put D. Gordon in to play second. While D. Gordon was my speedster on the bench, so I was able to fiddle around with that because he can play second. Murphy can play first, third, and second. So that's another thing. Most important, what I've noticed a lot of people doing with this fifth bench spot is what they're not doing is putting a catcher on their bench, which I think is kind of ridiculous. If you look at the catchers that are in this game, there are not a whole lot that can hit left-handed and right-handed pitching. As you know, I've been preaching this whole season, get that Salt Lamakia flashback, get that Grandal flashback, and use those guys in tandem, which I think is a great plan. As I said, with the Josh Hamilton card, really crushes right-handed pitchers, but you know what? You're going to need someone later in the game that when he's going to face that elite lefty and make him look like a fool, that you need someone to come off the bench and cover for him. And that is a huge thing with catchers. There's very few, and the few that do hit lefties and righties good are extremely expensive. So you're much, much better off doing a platoon setup, and having a backup catcher on the bench is going to be huge for you, because you never know when your catcher is going to be that tying run on second base, and he's got 15 or 20 speed, and you need to put in a speedster, and you don't want Gerard Dyson being your catcher for the last 3 innings. So just having him for the defensive possibility, a guy like, I didn't write down guys for this, but even like a Yadier that can just come in and play defensively is huge. Like if you have a guy like, trying to think, what's Bryce Harper's speed? What's Carlos Santana's speed? Probably trash. Carlos Santana's speed is 37. If he's on second base and I have an opportunity to tie a game or win a game with him on second base, I'm going to swap him out for someone with speed, and that means I need to have someone on the bench that can play catcher, whether it's their primary or their secondary position. That's why I like the... I forget if it's the current Victor Martinez or another Victor Martinez. Maybe the flashback Victor Martinez, I think, can play catcher. I want to say the current Victor Martinez can play catcher, but I'm not 100% sure on that. DSL 2121 in the chat says he platoons flashback Castro and flashback Santana. I've been seeing that flashback Castro a lot. Looks nice. I haven't had a chance to play with him yet, but I definitely want to check him out because I've been hearing a lot of good stuff from him. Yeah, this blog post is going to go up on thatsportsgamer.com in a few days. I just want to finish getting some screenshots and stuff. Let me see what else I said in here. Yeah, again, a key that is extremely helpful is if some of these guys can do multiple things, like specifically being your backup catcher and say being your being your on base guy. I think I mentioned that in here. Yeah, Victor Martinez can be your on base guy while slow, but he can also be your backup catcher. So if you need, and another guy like Mookie Betts, Mookie Betts, I think he's got a ton of contact. Yeah, he's got contact and he's got power, which is nice. Also has speed, also has multiple positions that he can play. I usually start him in center field. Granted, he doesn't have the really have the arm for that, but he's got the reaction, the fielding, and the speed that can track down fly balls. So he's really good. I mean, if he wasn't this high rated, if he would be like one of the best bench players you could have, because he can play all the outfield spots. He can play second base, got the speed, got the contact, got the power. Mookie Betts is a legit card. He should be starting in your lineup. But if for some reason you have a ridiculous outfield and a really great second baseman, get Mookie Betts on your bench. Though he just went diamond, so he's going to be going for a lot more now. But yeah, like I said, think about times when you might need to like super manage. Again, your power hitter doesn't hit that home run that you're looking for. He just hits a double. Then you got to bring in a speedster to cover him to try to score, to either tie it up, win the game, and then you're going to also probably need someone to replace him in the field the next inning. So these are just things to look out for. Think about while you're building your lineup, and also look at the deficiencies in your lineup. If your team's stacked against if your team is stacked against righty pitchers, make sure you guys that can hit lefties on the bench. A lot of guys are going to be I feel like a lot of guys are bringing out lots of lefties in their bullpen. I know when I hit the auto thing, it's like it always wants Tony Watson, Andrew Miller, or Aldis Chapman, and Zach Britton in. So if I have 4 lefties and you don't have good righty hitters on the bench, it's going to be a problem for you. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Diamond Dynasty bench. Those are the 5 roles you want: the slugger, the on-base guy, the speedster, the Swiss Army knife, and your backup catcher. Again, I always recommend carrying a backup catcher because you never know when you need to bring him into the game. And again, look for that over on thatsportsgamer.com in the upcoming days. Yeah. Yeah, I was really happy to write that post. I've been thinking about that for a while, and I think that's going to be really helpful for a lot of people.